أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you very much for coming. We're continuing our discussion, the 17th word. Sorry, the 19th word.
17th word, you were right.
I was right? Okay, thank you. The 17th word. Can we scroll up to the verse? So just as a reminder for me and for everyone. So the verse we are discussing is in the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. That which is on earth we have made as a glittering show for the earth in order that we may test them as to which of them are best in conduct. Verily, what is on earth we shall make but as dust and dry soil. These are verses from Surah Al-Kahf, verses number 7 and 8. And we're also discussing the following verse. What is the life of this world but play and amusement? This is verse number 32 from Surah Al-An'am. As we can see, the verses are presenting a couple of ideas. First of all, the earth as a glittering show, the idea of being tested, and how everything will be made to dust or dry soil. And finally, that the world is nothing but play and amusement, or the life of this world is nothing but play and amusement. So we're basically trying to figure out what does this all mean and how are they all connected? And how am I experiencing it here and now? And what is the Quran suggesting as a mindset or a worldview that will help me throughout this life and the next? So we began the discussion last week and we can continue. So the author basically is suggesting that there are 5 points that will help us have a particular way of thinking or a series of thoughts that will help us understand these verses. So the 4th point was, through the light of belief, it shows to the heart of a believer that death is not execution, but a change of abode, that the grave is not the mouth of a dark well, but the door to light-filled worlds, and that for all its glitter, the world is like a prison in relation to the hereafter. To be released from the prison of this world and enter the gardens of paradise and pass from the troublesome turmoil of bodily life to the world of rest and the arena where spirits soar, and slip free from the vexatious noise of creatures and go to the presence of the most merciful, is a journey, indeed a happiness to be desired with 1,000 lives. So just as a reminder, the previous points were talking about moving from having to live in transience and then seeking a permanent house or seeking permanence. And then another point was the departing of friends and welcoming death as death and the appointed hour as a joy. And the third was the infinite weakness that we have and the need or the serious wish for rest. So here the author is bringing in that through the light of belief, death shouldn't be viewed as an execution. It's as if he's saying, well, if you can feel or sense or um, almost like welcome belief into your being, then death does not become an end, it becomes a change. That the grave is not something dark and scary, and that death is not the end of everything. It's more or less a way or a continuation of a journey into paradise. And again, the idea of mercifulness is continued in this point. Yeah, any thoughts or reflections here? I'm not sure. Okay. All right.
Can I share something? I couldn't find how to raise hand. No, I don't know why because I'm sharing. What's that?
Oh, maybe.
Okay.
That's okay. Go ahead.
So thank you very much. Please understand me that I'm being respectful. Now, this verse, which is presented to us in the beginning of the section, what is the life of this word but play and amusement? How do we know that? It is just a play, but not real. It is just play and amusement. I think this verse is revealing something in our real terms of existence, what we are. Now, play means like a child has something, plays with it, and after a while, he or she gets fed up with it and forgets about it, goes and plays with another thing. Temporary. That's what I understood, temporary from here. From this verse. The life is temporary. How can I really realize that this life is temporary, although I know I'm going to die, but how can I know that death is not really the end of everything? I think we are studying on the on the fourth. You just read the paragraph. This word is death is not execution. Again, how can I know it? I think the nature of this verse, play and amusement, can be recognized by every human being in terms of comparison between what I am experiencing in this world and what my human reality requires, necessitates. My human reality necessitates permanent satisfaction, but it is beautiful that the nature of this world is transient, temporary, like a play, like a child playing with his or her toys and throwing every day, throwing a new toy, new toy, new toy. Of course, compared to human reality with a child, This is one analogy. One aspect of analogy is transience. The other aspect of analogy, we have to understand that human beings need permanent satisfaction. That is how we are. That is how our feelings require, how we are really hardwired. From there, we understand that something is contradictory between my reality and what I am experiencing in this world. That is the beginning stage of thinking what is going on in this world. There is a contradiction between my reality and the reality of the world, this worldly life. Only then it may make sense to me, if I am really seriously thinking about it, not playing with the word like a child, but a grown-up adult. If I really seriously think about it, I will understand that something strange going on in this world. Strange. Hurting me, continuously hurting me, because I know as I am growing, I am going to get old, and consequently, I'm going to definitely die. But this, if you like, pain of losing the perfection, need for perfection, perfect satisfaction for my life, really troubles everybody a lot. But some people say, don't think about it. That's up to them. But I cannot do that. I say, really, it troubles me. And I see the perfect way of educating me, training me in this world, that I have to seek always the source of permanent satisfaction, because that is my need. I am as I am, I need perfect satisfaction. I cannot deny my reality. Whether I understand that I am created with this quality or it happened accidentally like this, regardless of the way somebody takes, both people should consider, what does it mean for me? Even it happened randomly. Why it happened randomly within the universe, within this world, and these emotions, these feelings contradict the reality of this world. Why should I suffer this? Random really deliberately plays with me, and randomness really produces this sense of satisfaction, permanent satisfaction, desire, very deep desire for permanent satisfaction. Let's assume that it is so real, so real. Your mother, everybody can imagine, but God forbid it happens, but it may. Your mother, you love her, she is very dear to you in your feelings, and she is 70 years old and taken to intensive care, IC section of the hospital. And the doctor says, yeah, no, this is 70 years old. Let her pass away, die. Why do we bother for taking care of the health of your mother anymore? This is too late. What do you say? Think about it. You say, is there no way to keep her alive and healthy? Definitely. You prefer her to live longer? If it is possible, what some people struggle for it, can we make her feel even younger? Look, it is not yourself. It is somebody else. It is your mother, not yourself. Still, you want permanent satisfaction for your existence. That is why Quran says this world is nothing but play and amusement. You can feel it within your own existence, and as the creator of the universe speaks in the Quran, says, I am the creator of the universe, therefore I am your creator, O human beings. I am letting you know that you will experience this contradiction, and you can solve the problem of death. Only in this way you will understand this. Only in this way you will understand this. If someone doesn't see the contradiction, and if someone is not really lazy to take this reality seriously and reflect on it, and if someone really preconditioned his mind that I'm not going to deal with death problem, forget about it and enjoy my life as long as I can. But it is inevitable to experience this pain, inevitable. We can solve it under the guidance of my reality, the reality of the universe, and also the text, scripture, presents itself to be the speech of the creator of human beings. All of them really get together, converge in one point. There is something deliberately going on in this world, and it calls me to understand a reality that death cannot be the end of my life. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the understanding of the verse of play and amusement, that phrase particularly. It used to confuse me. I guess my only question about the previous passage was the light of belief. In this sense, is it the belief of... Okay, no, I want to rephrase. In the previous sections, it seemed like the author is saying you will feel the desire or the need for something more, something beyond. And normally, or most commonly, I can hear things like you don't pay much attention to the need or that desire, sort of disregard it. But here the author is saying, no, bring it to the table and let's see what we can do with it. Now, is the light of belief here believing that even these feelings have meaning, or even these needs or wishes are on purpose? Yeah, I think that's my question. I don't know if anyone has an answer to that or is wondering the same thing as me.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Light of belief is not taken for granted position. if you realize that as a human being, by using your own reality, your own quality, you definitely understand that there is a deliberate things are going on in this world. And the universe itself is a witness to the reality that the source of existence of this universe is aware of everything. He is so wise. It must be so wise, so knowledgeable, and he is doing everything really on purpose. The universe witnesses this. Everything is on purpose. So if you take this understanding into account, anybody can understand there's something very meaningful going on in this world. Let me see and understand what it means for me. Even somebody doesn't hear any scripture, any word of God, any prophet, which is possible. There are many people who have not heard the prophet in the world still in this century. They are not responsible for listening and taking into account of the revelation. What we understand now, as far as I am here, I have to use my reality and see that somebody is claiming to be the messenger of the Creator employed by him, and he brings the news. It really confirms what I feel. As an intelligent human being, I have to use it.
Thank you very much. I think I heard someone saying, please repeat the question. The question was in regards to the phrase through the light of belief. What does the light of belief really mean? And Brother Ali just shared his understanding. So thank you for that. If anybody else would like to share their understanding or other questions as well, just let me know.
To me, just I think what I understood from light of belief is like going back to how we started the discussion about a questioning human being in terms of how this universe is set up, where nothing satisfies my real human expectations. And light of belief is just something that I realize and recognize, or gives me a source of hope and satisfaction to go on living here and making sense of things. Otherwise, without any sort of meaningful understanding of what my existence points to beyond what I experience here, then yeah, it's this human journey is hopeless, leaves me helpless. But if I'm able to connect everything, all my human feelings, and that which my heart and human expectations desire, to a one that has brought me into existence. Because even with if I think I'm created here just randomly, just like Brother Lee was saying, that human being still question what's up here, what am I doing here. So to answer the light of belief part, to me it's just like a hope within my human expectations about a source of existence, that I'm not left here on my own, that something is rotating this universe that we are experiencing.
For me, the light of belief very similar to what we just heard. it's sort of the answer to the contradiction that I find in myself of wanting permanency, but experiencing transience. And it is a feeling, I believe, like that belief brings about a feeling of safety, and one feels attached to, you know, whatever's putting us here. And I think, you know, that experience, that feeling is what shows my heart that death is not execution, that I can trust that I'll wake up again. And so that's how I understood light of belief. I did have a question. The question was, I still don't quite understand the play and amusement, how I confirm that, because we are saying like, no, but when we reflect, we find meaning here. We find meaning in the universe. We find deliberate order and so many other attributes. We do find it here. And we know that this life is teaching us something immense, and that there's something that's going to happen after this in terms of the relationship that we develop here with whoever's putting us here. And so I don't experience this life as amusement and play if I'm really practicing that intentional witnessing. But it is amusement and play if I'm not, I guess. But I don't understand in the Aya, what is it asking me to confirm? That life is transient? That that what I'm actually finding meaning in is not what is right here in front of me, but something that's unseen? Oh, like, does that make sense? Like, where am I finding the meaning? Not in life or outside of life, in the unseen world, and the unseen that I've, you know, that I'm coming to experience and confirm exists.
Can I?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. That was my question.
Now, the light of belief, our friend and I described it as my feelings. Of course, everybody has this feeling. Everybody wants to have the best possible opportunities. There is no difference there, but at the same time, some people may prefer not to confirm their reality and choose otherwise, contradictory to their reality, saying that, no, that is my wishful thinking. I'm not really following the feeling. I have to be realistic. I have to look at the facts. It must matter for them. And this is how life is. Because we cannot really come to a conclusion as a result of our feelings, but after using our or exercising our free will to decide whether take this feeling seriously or not. That is why belief can only occur after me exercising my free will. Feeling is always there. Everybody has the same feeling. But free will is the only serious matter that we have to take care of for ourselves. What am I doing, or how am I going to deal with this free will? Or, sorry, feeling. What am I supposed to do with my feeling? Shall I take it seriously and look at the universe after experiencing the feeling, taking notes of the feeling, how the things are happening? Can it be just a play? Or is it really a serious matter? And for the question, I think, play and amusement, somebody may say, oh, this word has spiritual side, material side, but the question is, what do you mean by spiritual side? So it needs to be explained that we understand the spiritual side is our conclusion, rational conclusion. There must be a meaning in this kind of existence. So play and amusement is the very reality of the universe or existence of this universe. The very reality. It means when you look at them, you have it and it disappears. You have it and it disappears. As if somebody is really playing with you. But this is happening definitely in a plan, in a program, consciously, not accidentally. And we have to say, there must be a reason in the universe being in this way, that the one who brought the existence of this universe or brought the universe into existence must be telling me, letting me know something, because, as a result of this contradiction between human expectations, feelings, or expectations of my human reality. Not, my body is not my human reality, cannot be. It is just a matter. But my consciousness, my feelings, really make me really human being and conscious of myself. And so this human reality contradicts what he is experiencing in the nature of this existence of the universe. This contradiction really makes sense. Yeah. Inabe asks again related subject, a question. Belief occurs after exercising free will of determining what we should do with our feelings. Come on. Isn't that obvious? Without feelings, how can I exercise my free will and to make a decision between this or that option? Only through the human reality, feelings reveal the news to me, evidence to me, and lets me understand that there are two options. Either you have to take the signals in the contradiction between you and the reality of the universe, or you can ignore it. So free will without any option cannot be exercised. Feelings give the option. Reality of the way the universe comes into existence and disappears immediately is the evidence. Both evidences leaves us the option to use which way I should interpret it, I should understand this. This choice results in belief. That's what belief is called about, as far as I know. Thank you. Good questions.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay, I think we're ready to move to the fifth point. It says, by informing a person who heeds the Quran about the knowledge of reality it contains, and through the light of reality, the world's true nature, It makes him realize that love for the world and attachment to it are quite meaningless. I'd like to reread this. By informing a person who heeds the Quran about the knowledge of reality it contains, and through the light of reality, the world's true nature, it makes him realize that love for the world and attachment to it are quite meaningless. That is, it says the following to man and proves it. Okay. The world is a book of the eternally besought one. Its letters and words point not to themselves, but to the essence, attributes, and names of another. In which case, learn its meaning and grasp it, but ignore its decorations, then go. Okay. So the world is a book of the eternally besought one. So here the world is described beautifully, saying its letters and words point not to themselves, but to the essence, attributes, and names of another. In which case, learn its meaning and grasp it, but ignore its decorations and then go. So two action points. Learn its meaning and ignore its decorations. Okay, I see that you've highlighted a couple of phrases. Go ahead, Brother Ed, if you want to add.
Oh, it is understandable. The word is a book of book of the eternal besotted one, means really book of somebody who has given existence and transferred the meaning in it through its existence to conscious beings like human being. Then he's telling something consciously to human beings that it will make sense to conscious beings, human beings. It is so meaningful. Why? Everything is perfectly arranged and purposefully created, and they are fulfilling certain mission. We have to bear in mind that we are reading the fifth section, the last section. Of course, in the beginning, who heeds the Quran? What does it mean? Somebody realizes that something interesting going on in this world, very interesting, and this is not the result of the matter accidentally happening this way or another way. There is no accident in the universe. Everything is perfectly arranged for a purpose, to fulfill the purpose. So we have to make sure that this is a deliberate act. And human being says, who is doing this? So some people are given the opportunity to hear that there are some people claiming they received a message from the Creator. So we try to listen to them, get involved in them. What do they say about, because they say, we received the message from the Creator, and whether it makes sense or not, I have to investigate it. When I investigated, I understand that it is really revealing the reality of this universe and the reality of human beings. In fact, it may seem to be very complicated when also not complicated wasn't a right word. Very deep meaning is ingrained in the Quran, revelation, but even a surface reading, you understand that the main argument is, look, man, you can understand human beings, you understand who you are, what the nature of this universe is. It needs to be created. And also, your reasoning, intellectual capacity is enough to conclude that there must be a creator who is given a continuous existence to the universe in order to demonstrate that he is absolute, he is infinite. So what you want, an infinite satisfaction. So not the universe itself, but the source of existence of the universe and yourself can satisfy you. That is why the paragraph says the attribute of the name of another, whoever the creator is. Putting a name doesn't solve the problem. Allah, God. No, whoever is the source of existence of this universe altogether is another. Not the universe, but something else. Like La ilaha illallah. Exactly, another. La ilaha illahu. The universe itself cannot be a conscious being, but it is always changed. But the way it changes and comes into existence and changes reveals that it has arranged by something else. What in this case, we understand that the Quran or the message of the prophets let me know that, or teach me that this universe is the product of an absolute being, infinite being. I say it must be so. Because anything not of the nature of this universe must have an absolute quality, infinite quality, and only through the infinite quality can give existence to this infinitely perfect and continuously created universe. Otherwise, if it was limited like any part of this universe, even the whole universe, it cannot be infinite. It is subject to change, and it needs to be given existence. It has no quality to make itself exist. So we can see that the conformity between what the Quran says and what my intellectual capacity says and what the evidence I observe in the universe say, they are all converging on the same point that this universe must have an absolute source of existence. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I see a note in the chat box saying, does decoration mean it's being transient? We can imagine like a digital book, maybe. Words, sentences appear, you read and get meaning and immediately disappear. Yeah, I think decoration is whatever is the object is I mean whatever you think. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, I think what you said is yeah, we can agree to that definition, or I would agree to that definition. Okay. We can move on to the next one. The world is also a tillage. Sow and reap your crop and preserve it. Throw away the chaff and give it no importance. The world is also a collection of mirrors, which continuously pass on one after the other. So know the one who is manifest in them, see his lights, understand the manifestations of the names which appear in them, and love the one they signify. Cease your attachment for the fragments of glass which are doomed to be broken and perish. Okay, I think again, the idea of the world is also a tillage, so sow and reap your crop, but don't give it much importance. So it's almost like, yes, try sort of like give of your time and your effort, but don't give it much importance. And also that the world is a collection of mirrors. Yeah, but again, cease your attachment for the fragments of glass which are doomed to be broken and perish. Um, any reflections here?
There is something in the chat.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right, the decorations are what we mourn when they are gone, but if we grasp the meaning behind the decorations, then we won't mourn the passing of the decorations. Thank you very much.
A hand is risen.
I'm so sorry. I'm using my phone, so I don't see it. Go ahead and speak, because I can't tell who's raising their hand.
Assalamualaikum.
Hi,
in-
Sarah. Go ahead.
In listening, what I think is so important for myself to remember is that the author, rahimahullah, is advising with words a reality that he was seeing, like he was actually seeing this as his main way of viewing the world and experiencing it, feeling it, and then is using words to advise the reader to gain this very important skill. So then when I remember, like, okay, somebody was seeing the world in this enlightened way and now is trying to describe it to me to help me do the same thing. So, you know, as I'm listening, I'm hearing voices, I'm seeing other little human beings around me. I have windows that give me access to, so I'm listening to the words that he's using and remembering that there is something very important. Hold on, Shakur, please. Okay. There's something very important that this author learned and is trying to teach me to do right now with every paragraph. It's the same thing written in different ways. So I loved the tillage. The world is also a tillage. Okay. Sow and reap your crop and preserve it. And throw away the chaff. So I actually looked up what does this word mean, and it's like the outer covering of the corn, like the shell, and give it no importance. So okay, I'm gonna pause there because there's a lot happening here, but I just think it's so important to remember that somebody was actually seeing the world like this, and I'm being asked to see the faces and hear the voices as an eternal one, and throw away the shell, just the creation aspect of it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I see something else in the chat box in response to the comment before about the decorations, saying I see by ignoring it means don't mourn its transience, that it's very normal as long as you find the source.
Isn't that amazing to see how it is described here? Sow and reap your crop and preserve it. What is the crop of this universe? Just letting me know the necessity of the qualities to give existence to this universe, introducing me its source. I mean, the book itself, the paper side of it, and written knowledge in it. I respect the book. I keep the book and never read it. It is pointless. That's what some people prefer to do that. They don't get any meaning from the existence. They say it is meaningless. It is happening, I mean, by itself. Like this, I don't know. But keep the book. Of course, it is transient. Without the meaning, this book has no purpose as far as your expectations are concerned. So take the book, read it, learn it, not throw it away. No. Read it, learn it, benefit from the knowledge, and then don't keep carrying the same book again and again or trying to keep it. Because knowledge, it is with you now. The book, the purpose of the book, to be a book, is to transfer the knowledge of the author. Get the knowledge, and then throw the paper. That is the beautiful example here. Sow and reap your crop, and benefit from it. Learn the message that it carries to you, and keep the message with you. Keep the knowledge, information with you, and leave the shaft away. The shaft is no good for you. It means even the shaft disappears in winter, you don't bother. Because the crop is in your hand. Thank you. It's a beautiful analogy, actually. I liked it. There is an chat.
Yes, thank you very much. In that chat, it says, normal for us to understand Nursi or the Quran, which I am understanding from these classes is not that widespread. Thank you for sharing that. Did you have something you wanted to share about the mirrors?
It is after understanding the fundamental message, the main message, it is very easy. Mirror is not, of course, without the glass or the glass side of the mirror, we cannot see the reflection. But the mirror is made in such a way that it always reflects something else other than itself. So when we understand that the universe is continuously really reflecting the qualities of its creator and itself is passing. So the glass is not important. We have to pay attention to what reflects in it. Then when the glass goes away, disappears, don't bother. Why? You got the reflection from it. That is important. That's why, how I understand, they are really giving the same or teaching the same thought.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, let's read the next two passages. The world is also a traveling place of trade. So do your commerce and come. Do not chase in vain the caravans which flee from you and pay you no attention. Do not weary yourself for anything. The world is also a temporary exhibition. So look at it and take lessons. Pay attention, not to its apparent ugly face, but to its hidden beautiful face, which looks to the eternally all beauteous one. Go for a pleasant and beneficial promenade, then return. And do not weep like a silly child at the disappearance of scenes, displaying the views and showing beautiful things. And do not be anxious. Wow. The world is also a guest house, so eat and drink within the limits permitted by the generous host who made it, and offer thanks. Act and behave within the bounds of his laws. Then leave it without looking behind you, and go. Do not interfere in it in a delirious or officious manner. Do not busy yourself for nothing. For things which part from you, with things which part from you and do not concern you. Do not attach yourself to passing things and drown. This fifth aspect shows the secrets in the world's inner face through apparent truths like these, and greatly lightens the parting from it. Indeed, to those who are aware, it makes parting desirable for them and shows that there is a trace of mercy in everything and every aspect of it. The Quran indicates these five aspects, and its verses point to other particular aspects. Woe to that person who has no share of these 5 aspects. Again, as previously mentioned, these passages are sort of describing the same theme in different ways. So you can think of it as a place of trade. You can think of it as a temporary exhibition. You can think of it as a guest house. The idea is that when you engage in it, engage just enough, and so I think it's to engage just enough, understand the point of it, and attribute everything, or attribute everything to the eternal, all beauteous one. And finally, to see the mercy in all of this. Then you wouldn't find the need to be anxious or weep for the disappearance of things, I guess, or of the scenes. That's it for me.
Something's coming to me about, especially the last point of the guest house. Do you mind scrolling back to the top of with the ayah of amusement and glitter, or amusement and display? The ayah at the very beginning. Yes, play and amusement. So I think that it's also, I don't think that I don't get the sense that I'm being guided to like throw away this life. It's nothing. It's just amusement and play. I should only be concerned with the hereafter. In the sense that like I'm not realizing this amazing display in front of me, this amazing guest house, that through like appropriate relationship with it, knowing that it's a guest house and there's an owner, and that this is coming and going and it's all in his hands, that I do get to enjoy it in the meantime while I'm here. And I think that it's possible to read this amusement and play in a way of as being the guest house. Yes, you're here and you get to enjoy this time that you're here, if you know that it's owned, and if you know that you're as it goes away, the owner is not going away. And so in that way, I don't have to read that ayah above with only negativity. It's also just like, letting me know I can settle into the life that's around me, knowing that it is temporary, but also enjoying it for what it is.
Preserve the crop you really gather from this world. That is the meaning that we have to get. Get the meaning, read the book, get the meaning, and don't be concerned with the paper side of it. Enjoy the crop. Now, if the word is not used really in order to enjoy the message it brings to me, by enjoying, for example, eating and using contradicts without the meaning, and appreciating the meaning and do the necessary consequence of this meaning, getting engaged with the universe is the source of pain. We are going to study this. Is the source of pain. I love it, but I am going to lose it. Look at the contradiction. Really a torture. So we have to be very careful. Without paying attention to the crop, to the meaning that we gather and satisfy our expectations through this meaning, dealing with the word is nothing but source of torture, not source of satisfaction, source of torture. What do people do? Turn blind to it. That is their choice. I can't. While I'm enjoying something, I know that it's going to disappear and leave me alone. For a poor person, it is very easy to die. For a rich person, it is very difficult to die. He is going to leave everything behind. How hurting it is. We have to be careful to keep the balance, inshallah, and where we should keep the balance, inshallah.
Yeah, I think the balance, like you're saying, is really important. But it's also possible to go to the other side. A beautiful butterfly appears in front of you, and you say, "What? This is just the life of this world," without realizing this butterfly is, bringing these beautiful. It's displaying an attribute that we want to fall in love with, and so. I recognize it's a balance, but I think the balance is very important for both sides. Yes, honey.
Without butterfly, without book, butterfly is a book. Without book, without mirror, without tillage, how can I enjoy the beauty? But the point is to take the beauty and understand who is organizing it and giving me the message, introducing himself to me. The source of existence of the butterfly, introducing himself to me. Then your enjoyment of butterfly becomes permanent sort of satisfaction. Otherwise, it turns into torture. I think this point, I couldn't make it clear still.
No, you are making it clear. I definitely understand. If we, maybe it's not definitely, but inshallah, I'm understanding that you're saying that, I cannot be putting my expectations that my joy will continue in the butterfly because the butterfly is leaving. That part, yes, that is so true. And then there's also this part where I have been put here and I don't think that he wants me to see my life as torture. I think that whoever put me here is also asking me to recognize the joy in being in the guest house and that he's displaying so much amusement and play to me that I enjoy. But I know I have to get the point. But yes, we have to get this point that it's from him, that it's a guest house owned and we are owned too. And because I think I've also seen the other way where maybe a person or myself becomes too anti this world and doesn't enjoy what my creator is putting in front of me. And part of that is, I think, actually hidden, not trusting that it's going to continue. So that's why I just push it away, because I actually don't trust that my creator can give this to me eternally. And so I think it's actually a hidden weakness to do it, to be too much to the other side. A balance, inshallah.
Sorry, it is what the Quran says, and this text says that we should get engaged with the word in order to get the crop. I think somebody raised her hand.
Yeah, it was me. I think you guys are kind of saying the same thing, maybe just talking past each other. So I feel like the idea, like the message is that you can't really enjoy it if you don't engage with it a certain way, right? So in Abba, if I'm saying that right, you're saying like we can't, like sometimes people go to the extreme and turn away from the world because they're like, oh, I don't want to be, you know, engaging with worldly things or be of the world. But it's actually through engagement, right engagement with the world, that we can connect with our creator and we can actually enjoy it, which is what the text is saying, right? So it's like you can't enjoy it if you don't see it as potentially permanent or as having a permanent facet to it, because anyone who's looking at it as transient is suffering at some point or another. That's the point of torture, is for people who don't see it as being part of like a planned and deliberate creation, but they see it as random or as just happenstance. So even if there is a pretty butterfly, they look at it as it just happens to be here and I see it, but I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring or what it means. It's useless. But for us, we have to engage with it a certain way so that we can actually enjoy it.
Yes, enjoy this beautiful gift. Thank you. You said that very well.
Exactly what the Quran says. Quran doesn't say turn your back to the world. It says utilize it. Don't get delved into the word itself, but get the meaning. That is the purpose of existence. Thank you. We all say the same thing, but emphasizing because of the sensitivity of the civilization that says, oh, the religion imposes on people to leave the word behind completely because they don't see that the word is really worth paying attention just because it brings the news about its absolute source and gives the satisfaction to human expectations. That is the complete picture. But they don't see it. When they don't see it, they say, don't leave the word behind, because they are worshiping the word itself, but torturing themselves. That is their choice. I cannot follow them. Time is really late.
Thank you. Thank you all very much for sharing your understandings. All right, I think it's time. Thank you for those who have been patient. Let's end here. And if anybody, for some reason, didn't get to share this time, anything about this section, feel free to bring it up next time. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم